The Friends cast has responded to the tragic news of Matthew Perry's untimely death at the age of 56. Here's how they responded. Friends character Jennifer Aniston posted a poignant statement on Instagram along with a black and white photo of herself and Perry. Aniston played Rachel Green. She said, "The gap that has been left in my heart is beyond words." In addition to being a co-star, Matthew was also a brother and a close friend. "We shared tears, laughter, and overcame obstacles as a team. The world has lost a master of comedy." Known for playing Perry's on-screen wife Monica Geller, Courtney Cox posted on Twitter, "It feels like I'm losing a member of my family when Matthew leaves. In real life, he was one of my best friends off-screen and my on-screen spouse. This is a wound that is difficult to heal." The eccentric food buffet, played by Lisa Kudrow, shared a heartfelt remembrance on social media. She said, "Matthew possessed a special ability to make everyone laugh, even in the most trying circumstances. His wit and spirit will always be cherished. Peace be with you, my friend." On a late-night talk show, Matt LeBlanc, Joey Tribbiani from Friends, expressed his sadness. He said, "On and off set, Matthew and I laughed a lot. He was unique, and it's difficult to picture a world without his sharp mind." Famous for playing Ross Geller, David Schwimmer recalled a sweet moment with Perry. Schwimmer mentioned, "Matthew would frequently improvise and had us all in stitches, as I recall. We shall always cherish his legacy as Chandler Bing and as a remarkable person." Lastly, Maggie Wheeler, who played Janice, Chandler Bing's intermittent lover, posted on social media, saying, "Oh my gosh, Chandler Bing. Matthew, you had a contagious laugh and a sense of humor. We shall sincerely miss you." The cast of Friends United Sorrow illustrates the close relationship they had with Perry, the invaluable influence he played in their lives, both on and off the screen, is attested to by their tributes. Sadly, Matthew Perry, best known for playing Chandler Bing in the hit sitcom Friends, passed away at the age of 54. The actor was found dead in his Los Angeles home, and preliminary reports stated that he appeared to have drowned. The tragic incident happened on October 28, 2023. Perry's untimely death shocked the entertainment world and his devoted worldwide following, bringing a gloomy moment to the industry. The way that Matthew Perry passed away emphasizes how erratic and fleeting life is, serving as a reminder to many of how fleeting life is. Perry's touching performance on Friends made millions laugh and smile, and his fans will always remember him for that. It is evident from his capacity to bridge generational gaps and foster human connections via humor how deeply he impacted popular culture. As a result of the widespread grief over his passing, Matthew Perry's legacy as a beloved character in television history endures, showing the significant influence that performers can have on society. For an extended period, Matthew Perry's struggle with addiction has been documented in the public domain. Fortunately, he has overcome this enormous obstacle and documented every aspect of his experience in his just-published memoir, Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing. Explore Perry's battle with addiction with facts verse and learn how he overcame a 2% survival chance to reach his current state of well-being. Despite his struggle with addiction, Matthew Perry had a strong ambition for fame like many other aspirational actors. Perry compared his need for attention to steam coming out of his ears when discussing his desperation for recognition in an open interview with the New York Times in 2002. When he was cast as the humorous Chandler Bing in the popular television series Friends in 1994, his wish came true. Perry saw this as a career-defining moment, particularly in light of recent setbacks in his career. However, his career was taking off thanks to Friends, which in its first season drew in an estimated 34 million viewers. Perry's private life was a shadowy affair. Even though his life seemed spectacular on the outside, he struggled with extreme loneliness, which was exacerbated by his drinking. Perry's problems with alcohol were still relatively new when he was 24 years old, and he was able to control them until he was cast in the Friends series. But 10 years later, things started to go horribly wrong for him. At the height of his friend's success, Perry was consuming 55 Vicodin tablets a day, and his weight had dropped to just 128 pounds, which raised serious concerns. Though he knew he had to kick his addiction, he had no idea how to proceed. Perry disclosed in an interview with People magazine that his reliance on booze was so great that he wouldn't have been discouraged even if he had been warned by the police that he would soon be arrested. Unsettlingly, Perry revealed in an interview with Steve Evans of BBC Radio 2 that he couldn't remember 3 years of Friends. That would be seasons 3 through 6. At the heart of it all, Perry maintains that he sincerely loved the effects of alcohol on him rather than purposefully turning to it for solace. After an accident with a jet ski in 1997, his relationship with alcohol took a dangerous turn, and he started taking pharmaceuticals after being prescribed Vicodin. This combination pushed him deeper into the depths of alcoholism and caused him to show up for work while intoxicated. Ironically, he adhered to a strange rule. He would never drink while working, even if it meant showing up to the set extremely tipsy. In 1997, Perry entered the 28-day Hazelden program in Minnesota with the intention of recovering, and he was able to stay sober for a short while. But his struggle continued, and in 2001, alcohol-induced pancreatitis forced him into a 2-week hospital stay. Perry sought assistance when things got dire. Despite being halfway through the production, Serving Sarah was halted for 2 months due to his health. After serving Sarah for 2.5 months at a demanding private recovery facility, Perry not only triumphantly returned to his buddies, but also accepted a healthier version of himself. In an interview with the New York Times in 2002, Perry said that his fear of not waking up the next day was what drove him to stop drinking rather than a desire to do so. He founded the Perry House, a sober living facility in Malibu, in 2013, in an effort to help others who were struggling with similar issues. One of the things that Perry is most proud of is his willingness and ability to offer support to anyone who is struggling with alcoholism and approaches him for aid in stopping. In 2018, Perry experienced a serious health emergency due to a perforation in his gastrointestinal tract, which required emergency surgery to close the opening. The 49-year-old friend's Star's colon burst due to an opioid addiction, putting him in danger of passing away. He talked candidly about this terrifying ordeal, recounting how the hospital personnel had estimated his odds of survival at just 2% when he was first admitted. An extracorporeal membrane oxygenation system was used to help him breathe, basically acting as his lungs. Perry compared his circumstances to a desperate Hail Mary attempt. Considering the improbable outcome, his 14 stomach surgeries have left him with physical scars from this health concern, which act as daily reminders and strengthen his resolve to stay sober. During press interviews, Perry revealed a wise counsel from his therapist. He should picture himself spending the rest of his life with a colostomy bag if he is ever tempted to use OxyContin once more. Regarding his network of support, Perry has made no secret of the steadfast help he received from his friends and co-stars, particularly during the difficult periods when he was filming while battling an addiction. It wasn't simply on-screen friendship between David Schwimmer, Matt LeBlanc, Jennifer Aniston, Courtney Cox, and Lisa Kudrow. They continuously demonstrate their support in both public and private settings. Their knowledge and empathy were crucial to Perry. He acknowledged the advantages of his fame and fortune, but said he would exchange them all to never have suffered from addiction. It's interesting to note that, because Friends provided a creative outlet, he acknowledges the show for being a lifeline as much as for the financial benefits. The HBO Max reunion in 2021 demonstrated how deep their relationships still are. Co-creator of Friends Marta Kaufman talked on how heartbreaking it was to see Perry struggle. She thought back to when she had welcomed him back in the first episode of the last season of the show. Later on, she described the structure put in place to help him at this time. The majority of the crew was aware of certain aspects of this system, and it was a frequently discussed subject. In a 2020 interview with US Weekly and other media, Kaufman emphasized the group's collective bosom of optimism and support for Perry. Perry takes it all on in his forthcoming memoir, Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing, which is scheduled for release on November 1. He goes into the horrifying time when he was 49 years old and on the verge of death. He describes the aftermath of the opiate overdose that caused his colon to burst, including his 2-week coma, 5-month hospital stay, and 9 months of colostomy bag living. Now that he's out of the grip of alcoholism and addiction, he feels now is the perfect time to tell his story. This choice was motivated by the possibility of having a beneficial effect on other people. Even though he faced many obstacles on his road to recovery, especially when filming Friends, he astonishingly stayed sober for the duration of the show's 9th season. Perry addresses his relapses head-on in his memoir. He discloses that over the years, he has attended 15 therapy programs. Perry is now in a healthier environment and has all he needs to maintain sobriety. He emphasizes that relapses do not negate the lessons learned and progress made during prior sober periods, even though he has chosen to keep the duration of his current sobriety a secret. He points out that the date of the new sobriety journey's commencement is the only modification. Perry deserves praise for his steadfast dedication to helping others who are struggling with addiction. Out of 5 people on an ECNO machine, he was the only one to survive the night he was entered. He feels humbled and thankful for the profound feeling of introspection this terrifying experience has given him. He thinks that the extent of his hardships and how close he was to passing away will surprise a lot of people. Even though it would have shocked many, it wouldn't have been wholly surprising if he hadn't survived. Perry's current goal is for readers to identify with his narrative and understand that addiction affects everyone, regardless of achievement or status. Despite the difficulties and shadows along the road, his adventure has ultimately strengthened him in a variety of ways. He makes a point of saying that even in its darkest periods, his memoir has a hopeful undercurrent that highlights his perseverance and trek toward the end of the dark tunnel.